referees from every league.
Yeah.
In fact, referees are humans.
Okay.
They make mistakes.
Yes.
So I don't get why referees in Nigeria are sometimes threatened to be assaulted. They are vilified. I also don't get why Premier League referees are being, accused of bribery, fixing the games and all.
Yeah.
The game against Real Madrid was an eyesore to me. The penalty was just too soft. The second yellow card was not supposed to be a yellow card. And I would even say it is simulation because the guy did not touch Vinicius' face.
These decisions favored Real Madrid today.
Of course, it did.
But it is the same Real Madrid that has complained to FIFA.
At a point in time, they were writing a whole report. I think 153 accounts.
Yes,
with video evidences
in La Liga. So
saying they didn't like a referee like this.
The point is, these things would favor you sometimes and not favor you sometimes.
And another point is that
what we are asking
for in
refereeing is
consistency,
fairness and consistency.
Yes,
not perfection.
Yes.
Because these decisions can ultimately decide who wins the league,
of course,
and who doesn't. There are seasons where I think that referee decisions cost Arsenal the league title, and I can give you examples. But there are sometimes too where you realize that these decisions have also favored you. Although the argument in England is the fact that these decisions never go against Manchester City. That's the argument.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The argument is that it never goes against Manchester City. Last season, it never went against Liverpool. In fact, that's why they were referred to as Liverpool, like Lee and Liverpool, because it looked like it favored them a lot.
Now, this is it. Yeah, if you are on top and you are being accused of bias, I don't think you have to explain. You have to explain
Definitely.
it. As a Manchester United fan, I have had years of such accusations when Sir Alex Ferguson.
Those accusations were very true.
No, they weren't.
I was asked blood
and they weren't. Sir Alex Ferguson was, accused of, manipulating the referees. They accused Manchester United of getting favored by the referees. At that point in time, Sir Alex Ferguson was not just fighting with the press, because Sir Alex Ferguson, for years, he refused to attend the press conferences, and instead was paying the fine that Manchester United had to pay for him, because he was such a beloved legend at the club that, there are coaches you don't control anymore, they control you. So Ferguson was fighting the press. He did that for years. All these things are, there are information that are easily verifiable online. You can check for it.
Quick.
And he was also fighting the referees.
This is the question. Do you agree that a referee can be a fan of a club?
So let's be honest. Let's be honest. Now, you think that the English Premier League is owned by, I'm going to ask you a simple, this is a yes or no question that I want you to answer to. The English Premier League is owned by the 20 clubs. Each one has a share.
Yes.
Understand? So, and then when you are relegated, you lose your shares. Those promoted, automatically acquire those shares. Now, do you think that these clubs will sit down together, or the board will sit down and say, let's favor Chelsea this year. Let's just give them decision. Let's just give them give their opponents red cards. Let's just give them penalties. Let's just give them free. Let's just favor them for 2 years or 3 years, and then after then they now sit again. Let's punish Arsenal this year. It's not like that. Of course, it could look like one team is being favored. Now, if Pep Guardiola, for example, I've won 3 leagues back to back, and then I'm leading again, and then my opponents are accusing me of being favored by the referee, do you think I will come out to explain these things? I would want you to even have the mentality that I'm being favored by the referee.
This is what we are still asking for. Okay, I'm sorry we are staying on this ref issue, but we need to get this. I believe that some of these referees, whether you like it or not, are fans of these clubs.
They are humans, yes. But they're doing a job.
2, the FA that brings the rules for the season. Let's use last season as an example, right? They passed a law at the beginning of the season that if you kick the ball away, it is termed as an attempt to delay play. It's a bookable offense. Now, Arsenal got 2 red cards with that decision. After the 2 Arsenal sending off, the rule was abandoned because we checked. So we began to wait to see if the rule will be implemented again, and they somehow just felt like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Let's abandon the rule. But in doing that, you had cost Arsenal 4 points already.
Hold on.
It is the consistency in applying the rules.
You said the rule was abandoned.
Yes.
So now, if I have a rule that says don't do this, and you do it,
yes,
you have to pay. You have to be penalized for it. You can argue about
penalize every other person who now does it. That's the argument.
But you said
yes.
You said it was abolished.
After it happened to Arsenal twice, no other person was punished for it anymore. Because they now claim that the press and the pressure, right, made the referees decide to, okay, let's abandon the rule. The point is, even before it was abandoned, right, we saw it happen with Man City player kick the ball off and nothing was done. If you want to be consistent, for me, let the rule affect everybody.
I would also tell you this.
To the penalty of Arsenal versus Brighton. Aerial duel, Saliba won the ball, head contact with João Pedro, penalty. This season, Gyökeres got the ball, contact with goalkeeper, no penalty.
That wasn't a penalty.
Be consistent. The Saliba own also was not a penalty. That's the point.
The Gyökeres incident
what we're asking for.
Wasn't a penalty.
We are not saying that it's a penalty. We are saying that be consistent. The Saliba own also was not a penalty.
If what you are doing. Other clubs can also bring their own evidence.
Club,
it's the mark of being a small club. And that's why Arsenal will always remain a small club. Sorry to say, because now Arsenal are the master of the dirty games now in the world.
Yeah.
I've not seen any team this season that has played dirty like Arsenal FC. So they shouldn't even be the ones to, because when you play dirty, you condition the minds of the referees.
Okay.
You understand? I was watching an analysis by
but all the years where Arsenal played clean, whether with Sir Alex Ferguson or with Jose Mourinho, and Ferguson and Mourinho were the kings of the dark art. Arsenal was
So Alex Ferguson was never a king of
Arsenal players and managers were referred to as too soft.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Now that they are giving it to teams also, now that you have players like Gabriel and Declan Rice and Xhaka at one point who can give you as much as they receive, Arsenal are king of dark arts. I think that no matter how we look at this, there is the fan bias. You love your team. I love my team.
Hold on. So when you thinking that the Arsenal team that had a Javinho in attack, Javinho, Adebayor, Van Persie, do you think that they were supposed to win the league over a Manchester United team that had Cristiano Ronaldo, Carlos Tevez, Wayne Rooney, Jason Park, Ryan Giggs?
We are not.
You can argue about a game or two. You can argue about a game or two.
Yes.
And you can talk about referees' inconsistencies. Where I draw the line is where you try to make it seem like you are being victimized. That's where I draw the line. Referees have made mistakes that have affected even the course of a career.
Okay.
Yes. Referees have made decisions that have affected the game or even a season. Especially in cup games where these mistakes kicked you out of the competition. But where I draw the line is where you start wanting to make it seem like you are being victimized. You think they did a meeting and they said, oh, we are going to punish us now this season. It's a no.
No, this is where you still don't get my point. If these referees want to be consistent, VAR has been brought to the game to stop most of these errors. Right?
And it has helped.
And I have said that every team has suffered these bad decisions, not just Arsenal. Every team has suffered it. Therefore, that's why the complaint comes from almost every team.
And I think,
and there was a time the FA had to meet with the clubs to decide if they wanted VAR to stay or not, and the club voted to keep VAR because it has helped in reducing some of these errors because you're able to now check again. So saying that it's only Arsenal that has suffered it will be me trying to play stupid. Every team has had
Of
bad
course.
decisions.
Okay,
Arsenal has
thank you.
benefited sometimes, but have also been victims. So
Yeah, it's a work in
everybody,
progress.
yes,
It's a work in
everybody has
progress.
suffered it, and we think that the referees can basically do better.